Making Facebook ads is the bane of every digital marketer's existence. If you're managing Facebook ads or looking to launch them for your own business, you know the pain that I'm talking about. How do I create a good Facebook ad? How do I pay somebody to build my Facebook ads? Those are all reasonable questions, and the reason that you're watching this video right now. The good news is that I've done this for a long time in Silicon Valley for a lot of the biggest startup brands that you know. And I can share some expert tips, tricks, and tips for creating your Facebook ads. So if you're worried about how do you create Facebook ads for your business or for the company that you work for, don't worry, because by the end of this video, you're going to be able to do it like that. And the great part is, it's not going to cost you a penny. So just keep watching. Here we go. In the previous Facebook tutorial, we left off here, which was we were building an account plan and we were building out audiences that we wanted to target for our website. As an example, this is my website, and this is one of the articles that I want to advertise on Facebook. So this is a 29 gift list for Mom's Valentine's Day, and then I have products that click out to Amazon. You probably have a different type of business, right? You might have a product company, or you might have a services company, or whatever you're selling on your website. But the premises still remain the same. We want to build really good Facebook creatives. Now, there are two creative types that we'll be using on Facebook. The first is just an image, which you can think of almost like a banner ad. You've seen them as you've scrolled through your Facebook newsfeed. The other is a video, which I will say, from my experience working in the digital marketing agency side and for Silicon Valley startups, will be your best performer generally. Now, the challenge is that video is tougher to create or potentially more expensive to create. And so we're going to mock some videos up using some free tools in just a bit, but know that there are many different ways to create Facebook videos. Probably the most impactful way is something called UGC, or user generated content. And that is simply taking your phone and doing a quick boomerang or a quick 15-second video and then editing it down and having it be very related to your product. Now, we're not going to do that on today's video, but know that that is still a very strong performer for Facebook ads if you're able to create that type of content. So the first place I would start in your journey of building some Facebook creatives is come to Facebook's ad guide. This shows you the types of ads that you can create on Facebook. Again, we're going to stick with images and videos, but there are other types of ads that you can potentially run depending on where your business vertical is. I would say that these are generally better for e-commerce businesses down here. So if you're running e-commerce, you'll want to look at carousels and collections, but we won't in this tutorial. The next piece I would say is these two top bars. The reason we're going to want to use these is, one, it's going to show you what a Facebook ad can look like, and you can see what it looks like on Instagram as well. But more importantly, we're going to see the ad specs or the ad requirements for running advertisements. In general, this is what I would say. We're going to want one portrait or one image that will fill up this whole screen for story formats. And then we'll also want one square format. Those are best practices in today's Facebook ads market. So we'll want to do square and portrait, and we'll want to make an image, and we'll also want to make a video. And then the other important step to remember are these text requirements. These are actually more reasonable than they used to be. The reason they've shrunk these is because, so what happens is, do you see this text up here? This is your primary text. And if you write too much primary text, what happens is it will get truncated and it will say see more or whatever. And you go from having all of your text showing to having some of it buried under the see more. And the challenge there is a lot of people won't actually click that button. And so if you haven't front loaded the important text, then you're missing an opportunity to convey a message to the user. So I would say make sure what you need to say is in the first two lines of your Facebook ad, and we'll write some ad copy for our ads, but this is a really important step. The other piece is just in the headline, this bolded area down here, make sure that you don't overwrite this where it falls under the same trap, right? if you write too many characters and your whole headline isn't showing and somebody doesn't know what your product is, that is a bad experience. So you want to be very crystal clear when you write your ad copy here, because Facebook will truncate what you write. So we're going to start with images, and here's the platform that I'm going to use. I'm going to use Canva, and Canva is free. I happen to have a premium version that gives me a couple extra tools, but this is free and you should be able to follow along and build your own designs. These are some of the designs I already have for other things that I'm building on the website. Anyways, if you come up here, all right, we're going to create a design. We're going to do custom size, and we're going to start with square image first. So before we start designing, let's take some notes on what we want to build. All right, first off, we already know we're building an advertisement for this landing page. All right, so it's going to be mom related. Another thing that's important is taking into consideration what your competitors or what adjacent folks in the space are doing. And what do I mean by that? Well, you can actually look up any Facebook ads that your competitors are running. Facebook makes all of that available to you. Now, how do you do that? Well, it's pretty easy. All right, so go to Facebook, type in a competitor, scroll down until you find page transparency. And then if you scroll at the bottom, you'll see something called ad library. And this will give us a view into all the ads that this brand is running on Facebook. They have from our store to your door. That's a pretty good ad, right? This reminds me of like an Instacart ad. So one thing I'm noticing is they don't have a lot of text that sits on their actual pictures. They're using their pictures. Here's one that actually has some text. So start creating today. So that's built within Facebook itself, by the way. This you don't even need Canva to do. This is just an image and then a background and then some text, and you can tell Facebook to do this. So I'll show you how to do that as well later in the video. All right, so we're on another brand's page. This one is Uncommon Goods, and we're gonna look at some of their videos here. All right, so that was a pretty cute ad. Now, they clearly filmed some of their own shots there. Okay, so they have a lot of these versions, and then they just have some images as well. So I think I get a sense of what's going on here. They're using a lot of product images. I'm going to design not around products right now. I'm going to design around lifestyle, meaning I'm going to try and use people, my assets, and specifically moms. So here's a template we can start at. We can type in Facebook. We can see if anything pops up here. All right, so here we have some Facebook ad templates that we could potentially use. Now, this is an interesting background. You could do something like this. You could delete this product and then put your own product in there. Same with something like this. If you have like some type of e-commerce brand, this would be good for some of our kids articles. We could probably just change the titling here, like something like that. There we go. We just mocked up a potential ad for a kids ad. So the next step I would do is I would go into this photos area, and photos is going to allow us to choose some stock photos that are commercially available that we don't need to attribute a source to. Let's go back and find a different template here. We're going to change the text on that, but let's give that a shot. So we could do this. Make this full screen, position this to the back, extend that, put that back, move that. I want these to be the same size. So we've uploaded our logo here. You don't have to have a logo. I think it's kind of up to you. All right, so I'll zoom out so you can see. So the gift jack is now down there. Then we got 29 unique gifts for mom, and we built that in about 2 minutes. So that could be one variation of what we build. So this is a square. This is 1080 by 1080. We'd also want to make the portrait version of that. So let me show you how we would do that. We go up here, we say 1080 by 1920. All right, now we got portrait, right? This will fill up an Instagram story or those types of formats on Facebook. All we have to do is select everything over here, or we'll start with the background, paste that. We're going to have to find a new image for the portrait, unfortunately. You're going to want to make the same image for square and portrait. We happen to choose an image that works for square that unfortunately doesn't work too well for portrait. So once we have that, it's as easy as just copying this over. Once we copy it over, we can make it bigger. All right, I like it. See if we can take this one and turn it into a square. Boom. There we go. All we did is copy and paste it over. There you go. So we just made a square image and a portrait image that we can use on Facebook. So just go ahead and download both of these. All right, so log into your Facebook and go into either build your campaign out, right? We talked in the previous video about how you want to do targeting and whatnot. So I'm just going to assume that this is the campaign that we want to build in, and I'm going to make a new ad here. So this is going to be an image ad. It's going to be both sizes. I'm going to show you how to upload both of them. The image name here is, I'm going to want to start with a theme. So this is mom hugging daughter. Then I want to say dash if it's an image or video. In this case, it's an image. The size is going to be both portrait and square. So I'm not going to put a size in here. And then the call to action is, I don't know yet, but it's probably something like learn more. So I'll probably include CTA there as well. All right. So once you have this set up, you're going to want to scroll down. You're going to pick whether you're doing an image, a video, or if you're choosing carousel or collection. And then down here is where we're going to add our actual media. And then I'm going to hit next. And you can see how the square version would look on vertical placements, right? It does not look good. If you were to run a square image or video on stories, it's going to get cropped. And that's why we want to build out the vertical placement as well. Now, the good news is you don't have to worry too much about this horizontal placement, okay? The right-hand column is not really a big deal. These are going to be your biggest areas. Your feeds and your stories are going to spend 95% of your money on Facebook. So you want to make sure you optimize for this. So we built a square, and we're only selecting the square. I'm going to show you how to upload the other one as well. So if we come down to this stories, apps, and sites, we can edit this group. Let's go ahead and do that. And then we're going to change. All right, now you can see we've uploaded the portrait version into this group, and we've changed that placement. So now we fill up that full screen, and look how much better that looks. Be careful of where you place your logo for reasons like this, right? We almost got cut off by the call to action. So I'm going to hit save. And now we have a really good looking square image for our feeds. And if we scroll down, I can show you the stories placement as well. So there's your stories placement. Now, the text over here is going to be important for your feed. We wanted to follow the guidelines here on text. So we don't want to write more than 125 characters for the primary text, and we probably only want to write about 30 characters for the actual headline. They say 40. I'm going to keep mine to about 30. The description is the piece that goes under. It's a description to the URL. It's going to go under this, and it's generally truncated out, and so it's not the biggest deal. Let's just write some quick ad copy, right? We need the text, we need the headline, and the description. And we can do what's called a Len or Len formula. So this will measure the length of all of our text that we write. So let's go ahead, and I'm going to look at my article to actually write my text. 29 Valentine gifts for mom, probably. All right, we're at 32. I'm fine with that. I generally want to stick around 30, so 32 is going to be fine. And this conveys what the article is about, right? If somebody's going to click our ad, I want them to know exactly what they're going to find when they click. Now, the text, I give them kind of like a holistic view of what the ad is, give them a quick feature, and then a call to action. So she deserves it. Busy moms are the one holding our families together year round. Give her the perfect Valentine's Day gift. All right, there we go. 125 characters. My description, I'm not expecting this to show up all the time, and I want it short. So I'm just going to say find unique gifts. Don't use punctuation in the headline or the description, but use it in the text. So here would be my primary text. Here would be my headline. Here would be my description. All right, so you can see how that ad shaped up pretty quickly, right? We got the mom, the daughter, got the quick overlay with the text. You hit them again with the description line, and then we have our 3 lines of text up here. And then we can change this call to action, right? There's a bunch of different ones you can go with. For me, I think learn more makes the most sense. They're not able to purchase off my website. They can only go and purchase off my partner websites. If you're doing like B2B and you have something to download, you can use download. If you're trying to get like some lead generation, you can do like contact us. If you're selling something, you have a Shopify store or an e-commerce store, go ahead and use the shop now. If you're just doing a sign up, do sign up, etc. There you go. That is how quickly you can build your own Facebook image ads using Canva. All right, next I want to show you how we can turn these into animated videos on Facebook. So I'm going to select the square image here. Same process as we did before, but instead I'm going to go to edit and I'm going to say turn into video. The good news is Facebook already has a lot of stock templates that are going to allow us to add some motion to this. We can add in different text or end cards. You're seeing this MattyAds thing pop up because for some reason it's thinking I'm on my MattyAds account. So the premise still remains the same. I'm going to go with spotlight an image and I'll customize. And I'm going to come back here and I'm going to build a I'm going to build another, you can see there's 3 images that show up here, right? So I'm going to build a different scene that will fade in. So actually, we already have one. I'll just use this one as another one, and then I'm going to build a branded one. So I'll add a new page, put that in the middle. All right, something like that. It's quick, it's easy. So I'm going to download both of these individually. All right, so after you've created those other 2 scenes, we just go back to Facebook and we want to add, make sure we hit this button over here. We're going to upload our 2 new images. Now we have 3 images selected. Those will populate in here. We'll hit customize. So we'll remove the logo on this one and we'll remove the logo on this one. Now let's try. Got some movement, we have a fade, and then another crossfade, boom, boom, boom. We could change what those fades are. I believe we have to choose another template to do that, but that was quick and easy. Now, you're not going to want to run that for vertical. All right, you're going to want to edit, do the same process we just did, but using the vertical assets. Otherwise, it's going to look weird. That's how you take an image on Facebook and you animate it into a video. Now, I want to go back to Canva and I want to try and make this into a video. Let's see what we can do here. All right, so what if we started with that as like the base layer? That looks pretty good. We can crop how long we actually want the video to be right there. I think this only needs to be like 3 seconds. And that is the asset. Pretty good. I'm going to download the second one. We're going to go back to Facebook. So we're going to add a video. So we already know it's not going to look great on feeds because it's a portrait. So again, we're going to look at it on stories first. Look at that, huh? How about it? Just a note here, make sure you check how your calls to action end up looking on your ads, right? This is getting blocked. So I'm going to want to truncate this text and make sure it's only on one line so that this button has a place to live where it doesn't block the word mom, right? That's pretty huge if it blocks that word, but pretty quick and easy in building that ad. Canva is fabulous. The great thing is there's a ton of stock video that you can easily pull together and you just have a template like this set up and you just insert different videos and you have new test after new test after new test. So a lot of interesting opportunities for you and how you want to build out your creative for your business or for the company that you work for. We covered most of the ways that you're going to want to build out an image or a video asset for Facebook. A lot of the best practices there. Listen, I'm going to leave how you write your ad copy and what type of style you want to use in your creatives to you. I've given you some of the principles that I follow though, right? In terms of writing ad copy and then also in terms of going out and looking at what your competitors are doing in their ads library to get a good sense. I assure you, the best marketers in the world are using other advertisements as a baseline for what they want to do. I have a lot of real world experience in advertising, but I still want to see what is new out there, what people are doing to kind of push the envelope. And then I want to incorporate that into the style that I use. But I also want to make sure the style fits my industry. A lot of the themes and the styles that work in consumer or e-commerce don't translate very well to B2B or business to business or lead generation. And those have distinct stylistic changes. And so it's good if you don't have any background in that to go and put together a list of folks in that space, competitors in that space, and go and look at their ads library and really try and understand and diagnose what they're doing from a stylistic or creative standpoint. And realize I'm not a designer, but you saw how quickly I was able to mock those things up. Some of the videos or images you might not be able to replicate as easily because some of these bigger companies have design teams or they go out and actually shoot videos or shoot product shots. You have to have a trade-off. If you're running your own business, you got to be a little scrappy. You got to be able to take your own UGC footage from your cell phone and be comfortable with running that. And it works really well on Facebook, so you shouldn't be scared to do that. Anyways, tune in to the next video if you want to learn even more about Facebook.